Hello. Me and Jen are going to talk. I'm just waiting for her to come on. How's everybody doing? Man, my house is so dry. It's got my nose so messed up. But I've noticed since I've got my dentures, my sinuses are always messed up anyway. It's either my nose is running or it's super dry. One or the other. She should be coming on any second. So we're just going to chat it up this morning. Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea to do secrets from other people. I'll check my email every day, and then maybe a couple times a week, I'll either do a live or pre-record videos of other people's anonymous secrets. So I thought that was pretty cool. Hopefully it works out. I know some people don't like to tell their business, but I would never, ever put somebody's info out there, ever.
Okay. In Texas. She's 22, but she's got, she's struggling right now with CPS and stuff because her son's father keeps calling them. But she said that I told her I was doing this with you, and she said, "Hey, if you ever want to, I can get on there with her too." She struggled with addiction a little bit. So I think she said she's got about 3 years clean from cocaine.
Oh wow.
But she's a big CBD person because she used to sell CBD and stuff. Like she was in the shops, like big in the shops. I don't know.
Well, that would be cool. Yeah.
She talks a lot too about like childhood trauma. Yeah. Just from not from like it's not always physical abuse, but from like a mental standpoint.
Yeah.
So she's a lot like me.
That you said that because I was just telling my boyfriend the other day. I said it's so weird because we both grew up so different, but we both, you know what I mean, went out to the streets and did our thing. It was just, I don't know, crazy. Like when my parents were together, we did beauty pageants and this and that, and then once they split up, we went wild because we really didn't have, that stability and but you like knew about drugs right away.
Yeah, I was drugs and alcohol had been a part of my life my entire life. I think when I was real little, my mom used to have me drink because she thought it was funny. So I came out one night at like 4 years old, and they were all out in the living room drinking, and I thought that there was a glass of vodka. I thought it was water. So I drank the entire glass and went back to bed. So after that, like whenever her friends would be around, she'd have me come out and like take a shot or something, so to show them it was cute and funny that I could hold my alcohol. Like it ain't cute or funny.
Yeah, it's sad. That's so sad. I'm sorry, Jen.
It does bother me, and I get into like a depression sometimes, and that's when I really think about the stuff, and it really bothers me and it makes me sad. But for the most part, I just like laugh about it, like, oh my god, I can't believe all this happened to me, or that, and when I talk to Carlos about it and I laugh, he's like, he just gets this look on his face, and I'm like, why do you always look like that? Like I just discussed you. And he was like, sometimes I wonder about you because you act like this stuff is normal. I was like, well, it was normal to me for a long time. It took me a while. I had to learn that it wasn't normal.
No, I get it. Trust me. I get it. I mean, I'm sure you really think it's normal because it started so young in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And that's the thing. You get used to using and you get used to hustling people and doing bad things, and that's normal. Just like when um you get clean, you're like, I just want to feel normal. When in
Yeah.
reality, that's not normal. But to us, that was normal. Using was normal. It was
Yeah.
normal to be high or normal not to be sick, you know?
I know that, like, when it comes to like hustling, I was never what they considered a good hustler. I was a good hustler, but it wasn't because I was hustling anybody. Like
Right,
I learned all that stuff. I seen it. I watched it. I've talked to so many people from such a young age that I generally just love people for who they are, and
right,
cared about people. So like I would tell them my story, or like just bullshit, and have this loyalty and this honesty with them, and that's why people would do so much for me or give me so much. It's not I don't want to say do so much because that makes it sound like they were helping. They weren't helping. They were helping me in my addiction, but they weren't helping me in
enabling.
life.
Yeah, they were enabling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't the best hustler either. Like when I was pregnant and homeless, I also had cervical cancer at the time. And I remember so many people, like, I mean, my aunt who was homeless with me at the time would like beg for money, like, come on, she's got cancer and she's pregnant. And nobody would give me a dime. You know what I mean? Not even to help. And I was staying at rest stops. But
Yeah.
nowadays, people want to bust out their cameras and record an addict. Here's some food and here's some pop and
And
here's a
that's
tip.
not the truth.
Yeah, and it's sad though and sickening. You're using this person's homelessness and addiction to get your video out there, and it's sad
Right.
and pathetic, to be honest with
I'm
you.
telling you, 33 years of my life living, watching, well, less than 33 because, you know, I don't remember everything, but probably in my life, I've maybe seen 5 people actually go out there and pass out food
Right,
or be like, hey, give out clean rigs to people and stuff like that, which is
right,
still, not the best thing, but hey, let's help them out because they're not going to get clean anyways. At least you don't have to die from infection,
right. When I
stuff
did
like that.
see a couple weeks ago, this guy was giving out not this pints of liquor to homeless alcoholics. And everybody was getting mad in the comments. And yeah, I get you shouldn't have to record everything you do when you help people. I do think that is wrong. But honestly, he was helping them because an
Yeah.
alcoholic, you can have seizures, you can die. There's so much more to it, you know?
When you do things like that, you have to think too. If you go out and you give a prostitute $20 just to give it to them, not expecting anything, that's one less, and sorry for my French, but one less dick they have to suck.
Right,
And it's a dirty job, and they you feel as an addict. I was a prostitute, and you
right.
feel like you have to do that because you don't have any other option. I can't go work a job when I'm a fucking crackhead because
You'll do
all I'm
stupid
thinking
stuff.
about is drugs. I ain't got the time or the patience to sit at a job when I'm trying to get my next hit.
Right. And as for when I was saying when people help people, I love that people help people. I just wish that people wouldn't bust out their cameras because when
Right.
I would have to go to court and I would see people out there because where I had to go to court at, it was in the middle of the ghetto and you always seen people out there wanting food. I would go in the gas station and buy them food.
Yep. I
I
don't
would
have
never give them
anything, but I got
money.
an EBT card. Come on, I can buy you lunch.
Right, I can buy you a sandwich or a
That's
top
and
or
and eating is definitely part of your addiction too. Like you have
oh
to
yeah,
go out and do what you got to do to get you a dollar cheeseburger, and
right.
how many times I went to the plug or whatever short $3 because I needed to get me something to drink and something to eat, you
Right.
know. But
Right.
I always tell them, I'd be like, listen, I am what I am. And I will come to you no matter how good or bad your stuff is. I will come to you every time I have money as long as you show me some kind of loyalty, just like I'm showing you some kind of loyalty. I'll hook you up, I'll put you out there, and you'll make a lot of money.
Right. Do you still get people that message you?
No.
I do all the time.
No, I had okay, so when I relapsed in 2020, I had one guy that lives close by me, and he showed up at my door. I believe it's him because I don't answer my door for people anyways. But come knocking at my door like last summer, and I was like, that's about it, you know. It's like, don't, because I tell people they know at the end of the day now, especially, like, I'm a mom and a wife, and that's not the, and I told him when I met him, I said, that's not the life that I live, and I don't want to live this way. I had already gotten started. This is not what I want to do. I want to go back to being a wife and a mother, you know.
Right.
And eventually I got it back, thank God, because I could have lost my kids again.
Yeah.
I could
That's
have.
something, people don't realize either.
That's why,
Um,
they always say, and I used to debate it when I was in rehab and stuff. They say you got to get away from stinking places and people in places, whatever. I can't remember the words, but and I was like, no, if you want to get clean, you can get clean anywhere. But let me tell you, the best thing I did, I live in the hood. There's drug dealers all around me. I see people making drug deals all the time, but I don't know any of these fucking people.
right.
Okay. That's what's keeping me clean. That's why, like, when I would go out and I'd get drunk, it'd be the worst thing because then I got the balls to go up to you and be like, hey, I just seen you sell some crack. Can I get some? You
Right.
know, but I don't,
Right.
I don't do anything anymore. Thank God. I don't even have it in my heart anymore.
It's crazy. Was it last year when all this stuff was going on with Corona and I quit my job because of, it was nuts. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But I remember going to Sally's Beauty to get hair dye. Tell me why when I opened the door, I seen a pack of H boy right there by my feet. Girl, I was so mad. I mean, I picked it up and threw it away, but
Yeah.
still, you know what I mean? I actually picked it up, put it in a cigarette pack, and like wrapped the foil down and crushed it. And then I put a bottle of water in there. Like, okay, I'm gonna pour this shit on there. Nobody else will ever get this.
Right.
I just wanted to get rid of it immediately. And I seen it, picked it up, which that was even hard for me to do,
Yeah.
but I didn't want somebody else to get it, especially a kid. But it was like a sign, like the devil, like, I'm going to test you right now. Let's test you right now and see how you do.
Right. One
You
time
know?
I was out in my backyard. It was like just starting to get warm. So I was like out there picking up some stuff. I don't do the outside. Carlos does. I'm not
Right.
doing it. I do everything inside. You can do the outside. And we got a huge yard. But I was just like picking some stuff up and I found a whole pint of Seagram's vodka.
Girl.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I
The
wanted to drink
devil.
it so bad, but at the same, I was like, no, Jen, don't. And this was a while ago, a long time ago, like a couple of years. But I'm like, no, don't do it, Jen. Don't do it, Jen. And everybody, even my mom's like on the phone, like, shit, you should just drink it, you know? And I
Right.
dumped it out. And I've never been prouder of myself because
Oh,
I
yeah.
really wanted to drink it. I wanted
Oh,
to drink it.
oh yeah. For sure. For
And at
sure.
that time, I didn't have it in my heart to be clean. I always had these reservations like, oh, when the kids are older, or I would sit here and I'd like wish that Carlos would come home and be like, hey, maybe you can have a drink tonight. And I know that it would never happen, but I would like wish that. Carlos
No, I
is not
know.
an enabler. He will do anything for me if I fuck up. He's not going to leave me and he'll still take care of me and all that. But he is not one to be like, hey, let's go get drunk, or yeah, I think you can handle it. He's one to be like, hell no, you better not. Like, I'd have to sneak and go get
Yeah.
drunk. That's why for years he wouldn't even leave a vehicle here for me. And I
Right.
thought of it as controlling, but in reality, he was scared.
He was for your safety. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and the
mean,
kids' safety.
me and Michael broke up so many times because of my addiction. I put that guy through pure hell, and
Yep.
I can remember sometimes, and that's before Narcan got real big. You know what I mean? Like that was years ago. Now
Yeah.
Narcan, you can get Narcan and save people's life. But oh yeah, I put him through hell. We broke up every other month. But I was such a liar. And I was a liar because I didn't want to lose him.
Yeah.
I didn't want, I'm like, I love this guy more than I've ever loved anybody in my life. Like, he's like my dream guy. You can't lose him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lie, figure clean. And that's why it's so hard for people to accept when people really are clean because they don't know if they can believe them or not. You know, they just don't know because we lie so much about being clean.
Right. Exactly. I lied a lot about it, I always felt like I couldn't tell Carlos when I had my urges, and even now, it's hard. I can't go up to him. There's no desire for me to use at all, but it's not stopping me from, like, when I walk in Kroger and the first thing you see is the liquor and the alcohol and all these pretty bottles and flashy new things, and the thought pops in my head like, I bet you that's delicious. But I don't act on it, and I truly don't feel like, hey, I want to get drunk. But that thought pops in my head like, man, look at that. I wish that I could, you know, but I can't come home and be like, hey, I was in Kroger and they had this new liquor, and that thought popped in my head because you know what it's going to do? It's going to scare him. And that sucks about being with someone who doesn't know what addiction truly is. They can know all the stuff they want to know, but they don't know because they didn't experience it. They don't know what it's like for us to you know go through day to day with this demon on our back all the time telling us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I keep muting myself, but that's just because I'm at work. It has nothing to do with you.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so I don't want everybody to hear the loud noises.
Yeah,
But
I don't.
I'm cleaning a church, and sometimes in this chapel, it kind of freaks me out, and I can hear stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna go live with Jen. It's not that I'm a chicken shit, but I kind of am because one day I was here by myself. It was nighttime. And when we were talking about alcoholics, I'm gonna replay it when we get home. I was in the chapel, and you can hear dun 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 as soon as we started talking about it.
Right. And that's
So
all them
I don't know.
demons like, I'm
I was like,
here. Check
right.
in.
But like, I don't know. It just creeps me out sometimes. One time I was here and I heard there were actually two men preaching. And I'm like, I swear to God, I was on the phone with my friend and I was like, did you hear that? She's like, yeah, it sounded like two guys. And I'm like, it was two men talking and I'm here alone.
I know that we have a ghost upstairs. Now, you'll see me. I smoke up there. It's not ventilated through our house. Like, there's nothing. I'm sure some smoke seeps down through the door, but
Right.
it's cold up there. There's no heat. It doesn't ventilate to the house, so I will smoke up there. But there's a fucking ghost up there. My nephew, when he lived with us, he stayed upstairs, so he had heat. We gave him a heater. It was nice. Anyways, he's sitting there one day and I hear this big bang and I come up. He's on his bed, and like, I have a cigarette rolling machine. It was like thrown against the wall. There was stuff all over the place. He was like, I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
happened.
Oh my God.
But I know it's a ghost, and I think that it's like a mommy ghost. Sometimes Carlos hears children.
Wow.
Ours will be sleeping, and like, he'll jump up out of his sleep. Like, did you just hear that? Like, he was like, I heard
Right.
somebody was standing right next to me, like, I see you, and laughing.
Oh my God.
So scary. I get
Yes, my
scared.
dad's into all that. I'm scared of cat too, but he loves paranormal activity stuff.
I
Loves
love
it.
it, but I get scared too.
Yeah. Well, they have a basement here too that creeps me out. Now, see, this church burned down hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but it all didn't burn. So,
They they rebuilt it.
yeah, and there's
That's
some of
their
the
first
pieces left
mistake.
in it. It's crazy.
It's always churches and like old Victorian houses. I really
Yeah.
want a
Oh God.
Victorian
Yeah.
house.
Oh, girl, they're beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I told Carl I know we can't afford one, but that's my dream.
But look at you there now. You know what I'm saying? I was bragging about you the other day to my boyfriend. I was like, so crazy how one day you guys can be in rehab together, and then boom, she owns her own house. They each have a car. She's
Yeah.
just doing great.
Sometimes I feel bad, like I don't really get to take the credit because I'm not the one working and
Well, if
spending the
that
money.
was the case,
I'm the one
he
spending
wouldn't
it.
have any of that if you wasn't there taking care of his
Yeah,
children. You know what I mean?
I take
So
care of
yeah,
all the kids in the house, so but sometimes I still get in my feelings about it, like
and I know, and
none of this
that's the
is
thing
really due to
too.
me. I didn't buy the house, Carlos did. But you know what? We
Well,
wouldn't have it because when I got with Carlos, I was, when I moved in with him, I was pregnant. He had Amelia, who was, at the time that I moved in, she was 10 months. We've been together since she was 4 months. And I was pregnant, and then we had Aiden coming soon. And I'm like, we were living with his cousin, and we had one bedroom, small as hell. Wall to wall, we had a crib and a bed, wall to wall, full. And I was like, we can't live like this. So we got an apartment. On Amelia's first birthday is the day we moved in. I'll never forget. And it was really nice. But then I told him, I said, you know, we need something bigger. And we rented. And while we were renting, he found this place. We rented a house. It was a huge ass house. But we would not be here if I wasn't there telling him, no, we have to get out of here. We need something bigger. We have 3 kids about to be here. We can't be in one room. And then we got the
right.
apartment, and I was like, even this, we hated that apartment. Like, we lived upstairs. It was a duplex. And, I was like, no, we got to move. We need something just us with a yard our kids can play in, And I made this happen by pressuring him. And now I'm
Right.
pressuring him because if we were to clear it, this is all our storage up here, like all my Christmas stuff, and I got storage over there. It's huge. He's gonna kill me if he sees this. I don't know if I can turn my camera around. I don't think I can, but it's huge. All this stuff he's got saved. So eventually, Carlos has to go back to Mexico, and he's got to go back and he's got to apply for forgiveness for coming here illegally. And his lawyer said it'll take about 3 years. So we have all this stuff saved up that we've bought or we've gotten that people post for free, or even gotten out of the garbage. And they're like clothing and stuff like that. So when he goes there, he can start a thrift store. So he has some kind of income when he gets there to take care of him and his 2 kids. He will be taking them because the lawyer stated that the state would not let me keep them with my history. Plus, 4 kids and me, I've been a stay-at-home mom all this time. Am I going to be able to handle the bills and taking care of them? So I understand, you know.
So when is that supposed to happen?
Well, we're not sure. So, like 2 years ago, he got his final decision where they said they were going to let him voluntarily go back instead of deporting him. And we appealed it. So they said it can take anywhere from 18 months to 6 years. So, but they can call us tomorrow and be like, hey, the appeals office decided no, you're not going back in front of a judge. You just got to go back. They can call us at any moment.
That's so
But
scary.
yeah, but at least he did get voluntarily because he's got a clean record. He pays taxes. He works. We keep up with all his stuff every year. We have to renew his work visa and his passport and all that stuff. So they did let him go back voluntarily. Now, if they were to deport him, like force him, it would be 10 years before he can even try to come back.
Right.
But with voluntarily, it takes about 3 years. He goes there and he's got to file for forgiveness. I've already filed paperwork through his lawyer to where, you know, me saying, hey, I need him here because we're married, you know.
Right.
It's a big misconception that once you get married, you get a green card. I know that's something we all heard when we were younger. Like, if you marry somebody, they'll pay you and they just want their green card. That's not how it works. So, like, if he were to never have been busted by immigration and then we met and he went to Mexico and I went to Mexico and married him and they didn't know, then he could come here. I can file for him to come here that way. So, or if I met him in Mexico and we got married, we have to get married there in order for them to be like, okay, he's married. He can come over. We'll give him his green card.
Wow.
It's crazy. Because I just remember, like, when I was younger, I grew up in Dearborn, though. You know, them saying, hey, you know, if you marry so-and-so, they'll give you $10,000. They just want to get their green card.
Oh my God. I heard that too, though.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm glad I found out. I never married anybody and I found out the truth.
That's crazy. Yeah, like 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
Gotta have a visa and all that jazz.
But I mean, he's legal. Like, they know he's here, but he's not legal. You know what I mean?
Right.
He hates when I talk to people about it, but it's, you know what, it stresses me out a little bit.
He's unbelievably stressed. And like you said, he's very quiet, shy. You gotta watch what you say because of how he is. I get it. Michael's the same way.
Yeah. He's a
Sometimes I feel
traditional man, traditional Mexican for sure.
yeah. And sometimes I feel like I embarrass him too because I'm like, you know me, I don't care if I see somebody with a cute hat. I always compliment people. That's
Yeah.
me. You know what I'm saying? I've always been like that. And I think that's because I grew up with people so judgmental.
Yeah.
They automatically would look at somebody and be like, wow, that bitch is fat, or wow, that girl's teeth are ugly, or oh my God, she's really wearing that in public. But in my eyes, I would be like, oh my God, they look cute. You know what I mean? So I tried to pray about that and get that shit out of my head because I did not want to be like them. Period.
I wish I could turn my camera around to show. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of flash you. Now, the stuff I'm going to show you is my stuff, but when spring comes, I'm going through it and I'm minimizing all this. So I might have some shoes for you, for Joe.
Okay. What do you think of my new idea for videos? Do you think that's a good one where people tell me their secrets? Oh my God, girl.
It's so much. And then all back here, this is all stuff I was talking about, like piled to the ceiling. And it's our storage. But our plan is he's got like a portable garage outside, which is also full. But it's more full of like stuff we use outside and all that. But we're going to clean it and probably get another one to put some of this stuff in because I want to build a wall up here where we still have some storage and then put this as the girls' room. We have this fireplace thing here and it's a heater and it does heat. My mom lived up here before we had all this storage, but she lived up here and my nephew lived up here. So the heater works. We know that it keeps everything warm and toasty.
Right.
And then I got a ton of Christmas stuff and all those bags are like blankets, the kids' clothes, and I just need to minimize. There's so much stuff that they never wear. I bring it down every year, twice a year, and they end up never wearing some of it and I just toss it to the side. So I'm minimizing this year. I'm not doing it. I want to be able to at least put his storage somewhere and build that freaking wall. This house would be perfect if I had a basement.
At least you're blessed with a beautiful home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's nice. It was a fixer-upper. It had carpet and I tore it out and we did the floors. But with kids and me who moves furniture once a week, the floors are just crap. We want to redo them again, sand them all down and do them light because we did them dark. And then we've just kind of customized this whole house, and it would be great. It'd be great for us because we've made it our own. Like, my kitchen with all my mismatched cabinets. We did all this over the pandemic. So I have millions of cabinets. I can't live without a bunch of cabinets.
Yeah, that's what I want too.
Yeah,
And that's what we need to move soon. And that's what's shitty is we really don't have the money to get a bigger place because these prices are out of control.
Yeah, they're really bad this year. I keep an eye. I've always kept an eye on real estate just because I'm so interested in houses and what houses are going for, and always looking for maybe we can find something in our price range that's going to fit us good. So I've always, the houses over here in Inkster, yeah, I said it, Inkster. They always went for like between 40 and 65 maybe $1,000 is what they're worth. That's what, when Zillow gives you a price, it's a zestimate. It's an estimate. That's what the area they're thinking it's worth. But most of the time they don't go for that. Now, I went on there the other day and I was looking, and they had a house in the worst part of the city for $110,000. I said, there ain't no way. Ain't no way. The real estate right now it's just too high, and it's crappy because my kids are getting older every year and I need a bigger place.
Right.
And now this was the year we were thinking about trying to get a new place, and everything's sky high.
Oh, I know. Trust me. We're trying to look too, but I'm thinking we're just going to end up staying where we're at.
Yeah. I love how we talk about how you're going to do a live and we're going to have a topic, and then we just kind of hang out.
We always do that, though, yeah. And that's all right. If people find it interesting, cool, But that's what I was telling you. I was asking you what you really thought about the secret, the anonymous videos. People send me their
I think that's a wonderful idea because there's so many people who
that
have
don't
really good
share.
stories that need to be shared, that people need to hear, but they're scared and they're afraid.
Well, and embarrassment. And I think that's the thing people love about you. You don't care to say you're a prostitute. You don't care to put it out there, what you did and the things you did to get where, you needed to be or whatever. And you're not, I mean, I know you have some shame, but you're not that person anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
well,
people
I
love
see it as, and I've always seen it like that. Yes, I hate to say that I'm not ashamed, because of course I'm ashamed. But what is the point of being afraid and ashamed now when it's already been done? Your deed's been done. People know about it already. People know about what you did, which is crazy because nobody really even thinks about me or remembers me or the things I did besides.
Well, the thing is that people don't realize is they weren't there to judge you about it. And that's just like, people doxing us or whatever. And I was telling you, I don't care if somebody's going to dox me. I already know somebody's going to put my stuff out there, whatever. But the thing is I want to do it myself in my own time. I want, that's what I want to do.
Exactly. Nobody has the right to talk about your life, especially when they're talking about it in a negative way than you. Because even though we're talking about negative stuff, and we're not talking about it in a negative way, we're talking about it in a
let me help you out and share my story way.
And we're apologetic and accountable when we tell our own story.
Well, yeah, and that took us years to get that way because I used to not be like that. I was one of those people, I never did wrong. I wasn't an addict. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of addicts go through that phase where they're like in denial.
Yeah. Well, I remember before I ever went to rehab, I'd be like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. What's it to you? It ain't your business. Yeah. I'm the one that's doing it. I'm the one that's got to live with my mistakes. Why do you care? And now I'm more, yeah, I get it. I used my past so much. Well, I had a hard life, and I hate when people say that now when they do bad things. Well, I had a hard life and that's why I did it. Your hard life doesn't equal somebody else's abuse or trauma.
Right.
You know, just because you were abused don't mean that you should go abuse somebody else. It's not an
Exactly.
excuse.
Yes, I agree. I agree completely, girl.
I don't need any more coffee, but I'm going to make some anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some when I get home.
I got to get me a Keurig. I'm waiting for them to be EBT
Oh, I
eligible again.
have one, but it's kind of broke right now. So I actually
Yeah.
put one on my Amazon wish list, knowing, that's kind of too much money, but
Yeah,
a
they're
girl can help.
expensive.
A girl can pray. I might have a cheap one on there. I don't know. I might put a little cheap one on there, but right now we're struggling, just like everybody else. But I don't like to
Yeah.
ask for help or handout. I
Right.
just put the wish list in there. If somebody wants, there's stuff on there, $5, and there's stuff on there, more expensive, but I'm not asking for help. I'll eventually get all that stuff myself one day.
Yeah.
But
Carlos
yeah,
doesn't find it practical. And they're expensive. I'm not willing to spend that much on a coffee maker when I got a $5 one at home. You know?
right. Well, that's the thing. My $5 coffee maker broke. So
Yes.
now we're using like this rig that barely works.
Yeah, we
So
can
it's
do a
crazy.
movie night. Absolutely. I'll make some popcorn, okay? Go in there. The movie nights in my house are more movie days.
I love movie nights. They're my favorite.
I like to do it like my nieces will come over and we'll do when they come over, then we have 6 kids and we're outnumbered in this small house. But so I try to do fun activities and I just let kids love my house because when other kids come here, I just go crazy. I expect it. I expect the mess and the craziness. So they're actually coming over maybe next weekend after I go grocery shopping. Um, so they can have fun, you know.
Right.
Okay,
I
I'll be
need to
in
get
there in a
some
little
tattoo
while, in a minute.
therapy, girl. I need to get some
Okay,
more
I'll fix it.
tattoos. For real.
What'd you
It's been a
say?
long
I'm so
time.
sorry.
Hi, cotton candy boobs. I said I gotta get some tattoos, girl. I got to. It's been years since I've got a tattoo.
You know what? I only have the one of Julia's name.
I
Um,
know.
and I want to get some so bad, but I am not
Remember
into
when I got
needles.
the one in rehab, and then as soon as I got that one, old girl had to go get one right after me?
Yeah, I know. And I remember I fucking hated those people there.
I know, girl. I know. That was crazy. You was
I would
so mad. You're like, it's so funny Sabrina gets a tattoo, then the next day you come here with a shitty one. I almost peed my pants. I was laughing so hard.
I
Her
was
whole
telling
arm was
Carlos.
infected, girl. Her whole arm was infected.
I was telling Carlos you used to have to walk behind me so you can translate to people. So she'd be like,
Say
"Oh
that
my
again.
God, Jen, no!"
I had to walk behind you because of what?
So you can translate to people when I said shit. Because I would just say anything and it comes out wrong. I don't mean it wrong. But you were like,
Right.
no, no, no. And they wouldn't say anything. That's the thing that a lot of people think that I'm a bully a little bit because I say things. No, I'm just saying what's on my mind and I expect you to respond if your feelings are hurt so that say something, but you'd be behind me like she means it this way.
Right. Like, well, that's the thing is people didn't know how to take you. It took me a long time to learn how to take you too.
I remember when you came in there and everybody, because we were all gone, I think, when you got there. And everybody's like, oh my God. And I don't want to hurt your feelings. But they're like, oh my God, there's this meth head. You weren't even on meth. That's the
Nope, I
crazy
know. They
part.
all thought I was on crack and meth because my skin was broke out and my
Yeah.
teeth were. They called me a beaver. Remember me and Stephanie about
Hmm.
butt down? But
I just
I
remember they
just
were
went.
talking so much shit. And when I went
Oh
upstairs,
yeah,
we were
they
sitting
bullied
in the
me so
common
bad.
area.
Well, and
And I
that's what
just
it was
came up and
like.
started talking to you. Like,
Yep, it was like
I
high
didn't care.
school. The abuse and the bullying was
I'll
unreal.
be in there in a minute.
It was bad. It was bad. They
It
were
was
all
real
mean.
bad.
And then I was
Everybody
going
flicked
through
up.
withdrawals. So because of that, I didn't want to fight anybody. Here I am sick, Like, and my withdrawals lasted
Some of
months
them
because,
suburban assholes was willing to
yep,
fight anybody.
yep, just ridiculous. It was bad. And then we just started hanging out and talking. And I was like, thank God I have a friend in here because I'm going to be in this bitch 6 months. And everybody hates me, you know. But I also didn't know that everybody was sneaking drugs in there and doing shit, you know.
I didn't either. And I'm like, I remember our drug was those fucking mini thins. And I'm like, how the fuck are they getting alcohol in here and all this? I feel so stupid sometimes at the amount. Because I'm not a sneaker. I'm an honest person. I'm one of those, no, I'm going to do that shit right to your face.
Right,
People, you know? So when people be sneaking, nobody ever told me. And then I'm like, you could have shared. Or can you
right,
sneak me some in? Because I can't sneak, honey. But
right,
they wouldn't do it for me anyways. Because like I said, I'm one of them people. I'd be in your face like, uh-huh. And I
right.
never
And then
told on people.
I don't want to say anybody's name, but we did save somebody's life in there.
Yep.
So we did good stuff in there too. You know what I mean? We did.
Yeah. I still, I credit the Salvation Army for a lot because before then, I would have never even thought about, and it wasn't them, it was the counselors and stuff. I think about the stuff, I forget his name, that my counselor used to tell me about, because I was already in a relationship when I got there. And he was like, you really need to not be in a relationship until you're sober. And I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
And he'd tell me, he's like, you have bounced around
Well, and that's what I
your
tell
entire
people. You
life.
got to be selfish in your recovery, like you're selfish in your addiction.
You do
But it's a
not,
different kind of selfish, you know?
you do not know who you are. I did not
Yes,
know who I was
yes,
for the longest time. And even though, I craft, and that's who I am. Now, I'm not just a mom and a wife. I like to craft. I can make things. I'm intelligent. And I have this mind that moves a million miles per hour, and it's a good thing. And all
right.
these things I thought were bad things. And
Yeah.
then last
And I
year when I got
remember
clean,
how hard you were on yourself when you didn't think you were attractive. And I know you didn't because you would always say, I'm just as pretty as them. And I think you would say it so you felt it. Because I remember you looking at like Rachel and the other girls. I don't want to say too many people's names, but the other girls and be like, I'm just as pretty as them. But I think in reality, you had so much beat down. You got beat down so much in life. You wanted to feel yourself that you were beautiful, even though you are, you
I
know?
had to tell myself for years because I didn't feel like I was. And
Yeah.
now when I look back, I mean, I'm not as that pretty. I've gained a lot of weight, but when I look
So have
back, I
I.
was
But you're beautiful
so
and you got the prettiest
beautiful.
dimples. I love your dimples.
When I
I've
was
always
younger,
loved your
I was
dimples.
so pretty, but I remember looking in the mirror and feeling like I was so ugly. But I
No,
look
I
at
know.
pictures and I'm like, damn, I could have been a model or somebody else. I was really, and not to toot my own horn, but I was really beautiful and I wish I would have known it. That's why I take every day. My daughter looks just like me. And my kids think that I'm the most beautiful woman ever, which is I'm
Aw,
grateful for, but she looks
I
just
love
like
that.
me. And I make sure to tell her every day she's beautiful. She's going to be beautiful. I want them to know, even if they're ugly, I want them to believe
I can't with you.
that they're
I'm the
beautiful.
same way though. My daughter, sometimes I feel like I make her a little big headed because of how
Yeah.
many times I tell her she's beautiful. But I also explain that it's not just beauty on the shell, it's beauty on the inside,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. Um, yeah, I am not afraid to admit like if my kids are ugly or not. They all go through that awkward ugly stage too. All of them. And you'll be looking like I really gave birth to that kid. Look at them. They're so awkward. Just jokingly, of course, and you don't tell them that, but every kid goes through a stage where they're just like so, lopsided and crazy looking. My daughters don't want to brush their hair ever, and I'm thinking they're so pretty, but I wish they'd brush their hair, you
right.
know.
I'm gonna put comments up on the board. I don't know, can you see that
Oh,
comment? And let's react to some of these people's comments and talk to them about their stuff. Hang on, this is Shorty. So where do you go to? Hi, hon.
Can you? Oh, I gained a lot of weight. You know
Right.
what?
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially in these videos, I'll look at myself and I'll be like, damn, you fat bitch. Like, what the hell? What happened to you?
Oh
I
my
thought I was
God.
fat 2 years ago. I wish I
Before,
could
oh
be
my
this.
God, it's so funny you say that because just like when I was in rehab, now you remember my ex when I left rehab, he's like, "You're too thick," but I looked great out of
Yeah.
rehab. I had a body, I had a booty, I was, curvy, I looked good, and he told me I was too fat. And then I relapsed after that, and I went down to like 120,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I was fat still. It really hurt me how he acted about that weight. And
And
I really
you were
looked
never
good.
fat. You were never fat. You're not fat now. I wish I was your size. Shit.
Well, I'm
But you know
180,
what?
but you're also taller than me, girl. I'm
Yeah,
only 5'4".
I don't look good skinny. And I am really big. I'm like, when I see pictures of myself now, I'm like really big. And I would like to lose weight because it would be healthier for me. But at the same time, like I said, sometimes I'm like, oh my God. But then I'll want some food and I'll be like, I'm a big, beautiful bitch.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
you
like, I
are
may be big,
beautiful.
but shit.
But you're not that big though, Jen. You're really not that big. You know?
It looks good on me when I dress up and stuff, and people like my husband loves it. I don't know why, but he loves me this fat, and I'm like, how, why? Like, um, you know, big girls are
'Cause
where
it's
it's at,
healthy.
anyways. Shit, you guys
It's
should get
healthy,
fatter
girl.
just to join me.
I can't with you. Oh my God. Just to join you.
Yeah, you should see me. I have, I don't know what it is, but I have no boundaries anymore. It's because I live in this house with these kids who follow me around everywhere. But like when we were at the hotel, I was changing and the kids were already in the bathroom, and I just get naked in the middle of the room, curtains open. I don't care, you know. And I'm like looking at myself in the mirror. I said, at least I still got curves. And I'm like just walking around butt naked. And my husband just laughing, and I'm like, I don't care. I just don't. I have those issues. I still have like the regret and the pain, and like I was saying earlier, the depression hits me sometimes about my childhood, and I do get really sad. But for the most part, the outer part, it's just whatever. Fuck you. I don't care. I have to deal with what I think on a daily, so your opinion doesn't matter to me. And then eventually I believe it myself. Fake it
My
till you
mom's in
make
the
it.
chat. What's up, Mom?
Oh, hey.
Hello, mother. It's
You know what?
probably
My
like, oh,
mom
great.
asked me.
She's embarrassing me. That's probably what she's thinking. What is she gonna lie to me
I
about?
know. My mom asked me when I told her that she was like, please don't talk about me. I said, Mom,
Too
I said,
late.
yeah, too late. I said, it's not. I said, when I tell my story, it's not about you. She was like, yeah, but I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter because we're not talking about it to put you down. We're talking about it because that's my story and I'm allowed to tell my story. I'm sorry you're in it. You should have thought about that first.
right. Well, and like my mom was in it too, a big part of my stories too, but I don't ever put her as the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't, you know,
I'm not
we
trying
all.
to put my mom as a
No, no, no,
bad
no, no. I'm
guy.
not saying
Yeah.
you are. I wasn't saying you are. Don't take it like that. I'm
Oh
just
no,
saying
I'm
like,
saying that's what she takes it as. Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to put you're such a bad person.
Well,
I
like we
do.
just talked about a little bit ago, we take our own blame for our own shit, whether
Yeah.
how our age.
She I don't try to say, hey, you're the villain and you did this, but I do fight with her a lot. Now I don't even talk to her about it because I feel that she doesn't take accountability. She'll be like, "Well, I'm sorry that that happened to you, but you know what? This and that happened to me when I was a kid." Okay, I understand that, but That's your life. That's your
Yeah,
childhood. You have to deal with that. I'm dealing with mine, and I'm sorry that you're the person that caused all these things in my heart, all
right,
these things in my life. The way I thought, everything goes down to how you taught me as a child. Even
right.
now, our kids, we're not teaching them for today, we're teaching them for tomorrow.
Well, yeah, and that's, I think, a big part of why we don't have them around people that use. I don't want my kids to see people in their addiction or people nodding or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I seen stuff like that as a kid, like I was talking about earlier. We grew up completely different. You grew up,
I grew up
like you
in
said,
it.
yeah. And I grew up like I don't want to say I don't even know what the word I'm thinking of, but we grew up
Completely
pretty good.
different.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. We didn't know much about much. So when we did learn about it, we were like, oh shit, let's do
Yeah.
this, let's do that.
I can tell you,
So,
growing up the way I did, it's not completely damaging because it
oh,
did teach me compassion for people. I learned from a young age that even though this woman lost all her kids and was on, and the woman I'm actually referencing a woman, um she passed away when I was like 16. She was amazing. But even though she lost her kids and she was a crackhead living in a crack house with no heat, she was an amazing woman. She would do absolutely anything for me. That was my aunt, and I loved her. She's in my heart to this day. And I learned, and it wasn't just her, there was a lot of people, and I learned to love people regardless of who they're being right now. And that's a credit from my childhood. I also learned that there are monsters out there. I learned how to be strong and how to fight, you know. And I'm not a
right,
fighter. I'm not a physical fighter, but if it comes down to it, I will. But I'm going to try my hardest not to. I will talk my way out of a fight before I talk my way into one. And it's not that I'm
right.
scared, it's that I don't see a point in it.
It's the outcome. It's the outcome of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
funny because,
afterwards.
yeah, I've had so many people really push me to that point too, and I've had to walk away. And I used to not be like that. I would
Yeah.
go to jail in a second. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
I'm
now it's
not
the
afraid to
outcome.
rock them green fucking scrubs, okay?
Right.
And
Well,
that's
ours are black and white, and my
yeah. Well, in Wayne County, they're green or they're brown if you go to Dickerson, but women don't go to Dickerson anymore. Well, they might
do you
now, but
see
they
the
didn't.
comment Cher wrote to you, babe? Cher wrote you a comment.
Okay, let
My
me
mom
see.
also wrote a comment, but as your mom, we do take it personally. We raised you. And that's the thing with my mom. When my parents split, um, my dad put a lot on my mom, and everybody kind of went their separate ways. And we lost a lot, and I think my mom takes a lot of fault for my dad's actions as well.
Yeah,
And it's not, my dad was the one. I love my dad to death still to this day, but I don't think he'll ever change. I really
yeah,
don't. I don't think my dad will ever change. And I don't think he will ever acknowledge or accept the things that he's done that has really fucked us up.
right. And
Period.
my response to your mom's comment is, like when I say that, people who haven't done the work on their self, not saying anything about you, but like you haven't had to go through extreme therapy and rehabs and just really look at yourself from the outside. Like I'm very self-aware, so it's hard for me to have that conversation with my mom because she's going to take it personal because yeah, she's my mom, but I need her to take it from my point of view because I'm looking at myself from the outside and hearing myself talk in another perspective, like, and they teach you that too. It like like I'm a different person hearing me talk, and I need my mom to be a different person than my mom and listen to my story. don't take it personal. It's already done. I'm not mad at you and I'm not hating at you, but I do need you to listen to me, to acknowledge me, and to really be truly apologetic. And saying sorry is not what apologetic means. It's an easy way out. Being apologetic is just like it's in your heart. It's not a word you can say. And to share, thank you.
Yeah, I put her comment back up if you wanted to read it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can go
Cheers had a lot of stuff with her mom too. Now, don't get me wrong. Me and my mom have bucked down. Me and my mom have went at it, and we've had our problems. But sometimes, and that's where when you are so open, I am not so open about some stuff because I
yeah.
don't want a fight. You know how your mom said don't
Yeah.
say this or that. Well, some stuff I might say that might affect her and some stuff, and I already know my dad's gonna be pissed about the stuff I say,
You know, and that, I mean, to each our own. Anybody says anything about us, we're gonna be just as hurt and
Yeah.
all that. But when my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, if she comes to me and she says, you, because of the way that you lived, because of how we lived, I have these feelings. I'm going to make her, feel heard and understood. And that's my problem with my mom, is that I feel like she's not hearing me. She's not understanding. She can't see past her trauma to really see my trauma. All she can see is, well, I went through all this, so I mean, I went through it, so you had to go through it, and you should tell me I'm sorry that you had to have a bad life, and she shouldn't have to tell me that she's sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And as for your comment, Mom, I'm not even talking about that on that level. We already have had our talks and our differences about the things we've been through. It doesn't,
Yeah, you don't have to
I'm
make
gonna
it.
love you any less. You know what I mean? You're my mom. You're always gonna be my mom. Yep, we've went through some shit and we still go through stuff, but I don't want to put it out there. I'm sure one day maybe we both can sit down and talk about it or do a
Yeah.
video about it. But tonight, right now is not the time. I don't want to talk about it right now.
Now, I wouldn't come on here and put like personal stuff between me and my mother. It's more about my feelings from my
Yeah,
mother.
I know what she's talking about. I know exactly what she's talking about, but I'm not going to keep, I have had people ask me how I still talk to my mom and stuff like that. But my mom's intentions weren't to hurt me. And that's why, you know what I mean? And that's what
Yeah,
people don't understand.
I don't think that my mom had her first kid, right before she turned 16 or right before she turned 15 maybe. And she did have a hard life, and she had to grow up with her kids, and she didn't really get it. And I understand
Right.
that, because guess what? I did the same thing. I
Right.
had my first kid at 18. I didn't know how to be a mom. I didn't know how to do anything. I had to give my kids up. And I understand her point of view. I really do. But when it comes to my feelings and my trauma and me getting through it, I just need her to understand my point of view. And
Yeah.
like I said, step out of herself. Now, I wouldn't get on here and be like, "Oh, well, my mom did this directly to me." I might say some stories, but like, I'm not putting her as a bad guy. I'm just explaining my
Well,
side
it's
of
a
it.
part of your story. That's the
Yeah.
thing. She is a big part of your story. So, my mom is too, but so is other people, you know. And like she put in the comments,
Yeah.
hang on. I'm not trying to say any shit. I've never wanted anything but the best for all of you. And I know that, Mom. And I know that. And I think that's our biggest problem is we don't know how to communicate with each other. So we get pissed off and yell and fight, yada, yada, yada. But when my parents split up, we all went separate ways. And like I said, lived with separate people. We lost everything. So we
Yeah.
went from, the fucking Brady Bunch to homeless, living in cars and struggling. And mind you, my mom worked 3 jobs. So, my dad picked us up from school one day and was like, I'm leaving your mom. And that was
Yeah.
that. We lost everything, the house, the cars.
And you guys were going through so much mentally too. And your mom, like you said, working 3 jobs and just
Yeah.
her mental stuff that she was going through with her husband leaving her.
Well, and
I'm
then
sure it was
she
hard on
caught
all of
him,
you guys.
with another
Whole
woman. And
life
I think that
changed.
devastated her. It devastated her. They were married 18 years. She just wanted him to wait till we graduated so we would have a stable life,
Yeah.
whatever. But
I couldn't
that's her
imagine it.
story.
I think about it sometimes because my brain is like that. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine Carlos just up and leaving me like, and I've up and left him a couple of times because I'm fucking crazy. But
Yeah. Well, I think Michael's biggest problem is the things he's been through in the past with exes. He automatically thinks I'm gonna dip.
yeah,
And, if I was gonna leave, I'll tell you. And if I was gonna cheat, trust me, I wouldn't cheat, and you would know before I did it. You
I'm not
know.
interested in cheating. I'm not even interested in it now with my
Right.
husband.
Right.
I don't have time. I don't have the
Exactly.
time to have another relationship. This one's hard enough for me, okay? I'm not good
Gotcha.
with
Yeah.
relationships. I bounce around. This is my longest one, and it's because we're both too stubborn to really leave each other. That's what I say. We'll be together forever because at the end of the day, he's like, I'm not going anywhere. You want to leave, you leave. Well, I'm not going anywhere. You can leave. And then,
Right.
that's how our life's gonna be until one of us dies.
Well, I can be kind of a bitch and be like, get out. I mean, of course, we never do, but
Yeah.
we have our fights, and sometimes, and I'm one of those people now. I would rather walk away and cool off than to say shit I'll regret because, like my mom always says, I have a tongue like a razor, and if you piss me off, I will cut you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be like that, but I do go pretty deep, and I will say the meanest thing I can think of to hurt you.
Oh yeah. I've been there.
But that's the thing. I'm one of those people that's a softie too. I can't handle words, you know.
If anybody wants any hair tutorials, just let me know.
It's cute, girl. I wear my hair like that all the time.
It's like my gut. You should see me when I get up in the morning because I'll wear it like this to bed and it'll be like all hanging off the side of my head. And it will be like that until about 10:30, 11.
Yeah, but it seems like you got a good husband, Shorty. Is he good to you? That's all that matters, girl.
I think it's scary. It's scary. It's scary
It is
depending on
scary to
somebody
not know. Yeah,
because
to
if
not
they
know.
decide that they don't want to be in a relationship and they leave, we're starting from the bottom. I haven't
Yep,
worked in,
started from the
7
bottom. Now we're
years.
here. Yeah,
And
yeah,
but I'm one of them people, if he left, I'm a good co-parenter. He is not. He's vengeful. I'm not vengeful anymore. I don't have it in my heart. Um, but I'd be like, well, go ahead. If you want to leave, go ahead and leave. Um, but I'm staying here, you
yeah.
know.
And I
Uh,
think that's Michael's biggest problem is I'm the one that has to work because of his back.
yeah.
And I think he thinks, oh, she's going to go out there and get somebody that has money, yada, yada, yada.
It's
And
not
that's
about
not what
money
I
to
want.
us.
That's not what I want at all. No, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, we were homeless,
Let me
like
turn
I
my
didn't,
camera off for a minute.
okay. Yeah, like it didn't matter to me. I don't care about, yeah, money helps, but it's not everything.
It's great that Carlos works so much, and that we have a decent living because of it, but that I don't care about your money. I want your attention. I want you and
Yes,
and
your
you
love, your
only.
affection.
I have no interest. I don't even look at men and be like, oh, I want him so bad. Like
Yeah.
I want my husband. I'll look at him sometimes and I'll be like, man, he is so handsome. You know,
Yeah.
how did I get this handsome, good working man? He's a great husband. He's a great provider. You know, I'm fucking spoiled.
Yes.
Um, and there's nothing anybody else can give me that he's not already giving me.
Right.
Besides, you know, some attention and love, because like I said, he's a traditional man, so he's very quiet. He just wants to be, you know, he comes home, he plays the game with the kids and just relaxes, and that's just like traditional man to me. like like he's all man, traditional, and I always say traditional Mexican men because every Mexican father I ever met is like off in the other room just laying in his bed watching his TV or doing whatever. It has no interest in coming out and meeting anybody, you know.
Right.
But I talk.
Yeah. No, you're good. We've been on here for like an hour and 5 minutes. I am going to get off because I do have to vacuum and it's kind of loud and I don't want to accidentally hit the mic or not be able to hear you.
Yeah, it's almost a math class for the kids anyway, so.
Oh, perfect, girl. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was fun
Anyway,
hanging out and talking to all of
I
you
know,
guys.
girl. I love doing live with
Eventually, we'll
you.
get
Look
on
at
here
our,
and have a structured conversation. I doubt it, but we'll try.
we aren't them topic type people, even though I'm like, let's set something up. We don't
Yeah.
do that, but I do think would like to do the secret, uh, anonymous secrets,
Yeah.
and maybe have you pop on the lives with me and we talk about it, and make people not feel like shit about their secrets.
That's
You
a good
know,
idea. Like them sending you anonymous things and you can tell their story and then we can discuss it. Or you can I'm not trying to take over your channel.
no, you're fine, you're fine,
uh,
but
we have a lot of opinions and we also have a lot of support to give, you know, and we're very educated and this I'm one of those people, if something's going on, I have to learn what I can about it.
right,
So we can help, you know.
yes, yes. But
All right.
all right, well, I'm gonna get off here. I will message you in a little bit. Thank you. All
Thank you.
right, bye.